This may be the single greatest episode of Village Vice in the history of our show as we approach 200 episodes. He's Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. Today's show is brought to you by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. When you use promo code NEXTROUND, they're going to triple your deposits in the casino. They're going to give you 50 free spins. Go check them out at mybookie.ag and make sure to use that promo code NEXTROUND. They sponsor every episode of Village Vice. Zach, as we've gone through this week, the hype hasn't slowed down, and the difference between the way this game felt last week and the way it feels now continues to widen. Think about how you felt about the Iron Bowl last Friday.
Right.
Think about how you feel about it now. It's very different.
Very different. Very different. No question about it. And I think a lot of that has to do with pressure. I think all the pressure has always been on Alabama, more so Auburn in this game, because sure, there's a bowl opportunity at stake for Auburn, but I don't think that's really what it's about, Brad.
I agree.
But when you look at the pressure that's on the Alabama side of it, you've got Kalen DeBoer, first-year head coach. This is his first Iron Bowl, and people are starting to ask questions. The home run hire, as you love to point out. That's what everybody said, the home run hire. People are starting to question his decisions, his coaching style. I mean, everything. Even, talent acquisition off the field. There's questions for a lot of their key guys when it comes to recruiting. And if he loses this game, I don't know what happens. I mean, Tuscaloosa is going to melt down 100%. So, yeah, it was always going to be that way. There's always going to be more pressure on Alabama than Auburn in this game. But with them losing to Oklahoma this past weekend, I think it just amplifies it.
Yeah. And Auburn beating Texas A&M the way they did, not just, overcoming for it. Because look, you're one missed field goal, made field goal, drop pass, caught pass away from a loss.
Yeah.
And, Auburn's 4-7 going into this game, and you feel very different than you do now about it. But the fact that this offense, I may be repeating something that I said Monday, I don't know, but a week ago we talked about how it had been 30 years since Auburn had a 100-yard rusher and 2 100-yard receivers. 30 years. Cam's team didn't do it. 04 team didn't do it. All these 17 didn't do it. They've done it back-to-back games now.
Sure.
Cam Coleman having one good game is a flash of what is going to be. Cam Coleman having 2 back-to-back games, that's different. Keandre Lambert-Smith being the second or third leading receiver in the SEC, that's an identity now.
Yeah, I think he's fourth in yards. He's first in touchdowns. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah.
So, you can look at a lot of these numbers. You can look at common opponents, and that's not the transitive property. I think it's interesting to look at common opponents, though. Both Auburn and Alabama played Oklahoma, Georgia, Missouri, and Vanderbilt.
Vandy.
Both lost to Vandy in Oklahoma. Alabama got Missouri without a quarterback or running back. Would love to have seen Auburn finish that game without Missouri's quarterback in it. And then Georgia's really the only difference. And, that
sure,
I'll give you that. Both those were in the first half of the season. So,
but also, I mean, sure, you give Bama the nod when you're comparing the games against Georgia, but I think you'd have to give Auburn the nod when comparing the games against Oklahoma.
No question. Oh yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, both teams lost the games, but that's one of those that didn't Auburn outgain Oklahoma significantly?
Yeah, it was like by 100 yards, if I remember right.
Yeah.
That's what made it so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because that was like the third week in a row that they've done that. It's just...
Same against Vanderbilt, outgained them by over 100 yards. So, look, I know you're winning the game or losing the game, and that's what matters. But, you got a lot of evidence now at this point in the season. Who you are is who you are. And I think that Auburn will get Alabama's very best.
They should. It's the Iron Bowl.
Yeah. Alabama won't play the way they did against Oklahoma, against Auburn. I have no reason for why they played that way against Oklahoma.
I don't think they do either, and I think that's why there's actual concern about it.
No, I think you're right about that. But I think you get the best of both teams. And what does that mean? Their scoring defense in SEC-only games, very good. Their scoring offense is about a touchdown better than Auburn's in conference games. But yardage, finish, the stuff between the 20s, it's actually in Auburn's favor in a lot of those categories, both offensively and defensively. So it comes down to finishing.
Yeah. Yeah. If Auburn has a similar game plan they did against Texas A&M and Alabama isn't ready for it, I mean, you got to think this is going to be a Jarquez Hunter game.
Yeah.
I want to see Peyton Thorne use his legs. I want to see Cam Coleman get the opportunity in space. I think Auburn is going to be able to score enough. And I think the defense is going to come down to can they keep Milroe in the pocket? DeMarcus Riddick seems to think that they can, which I'm all for.
He sure does.
I'm all for. Show us how fast you are, buddy. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. But, whoever covers Ryan Williams is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Kayan Lee. I think I would put Jay Crawford on him, but regardless, that's going to be a matchup in and of itself. And you've got to find a way to make Milroe uncomfortable early. And they kind of had a hard time doing that last year in the Iron Bowl. He kind of ran and took his time, was able to escape the pocket and all of that. So what do you do differently this time? They've got better guys in the defensive front seven than they did a year ago. They've got to use it. They've got to use it. DJ Durkin's going to have to put together a really good game plan this week.
We've seen DeMarcus Riddick as a spy a couple of times this year against mobile quarterbacks. How much of that do you see against
I don't know
Milroe?
who he is. I don't know who DeMarcus Riddick is.
Y'all took pictures together on recruiting visits, though.
How wild is that? How, the Jalen Milroe's response to the crap talk, the smack, was probably the worst response you could have. Is that fair? Because your options are either you ignore it, which I think everybody's like, fine, you take the high road. Like, that's probably the most expected thing.
Yeah.
Or you clap back. And he didn't really do either.
No.
He tried to clap back, but he didn't fully commit until it was awkward. And so it's like, oh, I don't even know who that is. And then all these people are posting pictures. And then a few hours later, DeMarcus Riddick's grandma's posting pictures and videos and all of them together. So funny. Yeah. It's so stinking funny. But yeah, containment's going to be big. And DeMarcus Riddick will be a big part of that.
We haven't addressed the comments yet on this show.
Have we not?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much you've talked about him elsewhere, but we haven't talked about him on this show.
I love it. I think it's great.
I had about 10 minutes of anxious, oh, what are you doing? What are we doing? We don't know. We don't do that. We don't, no matter what the game is, you don't give them bulletin board. I don't know, though. The more I think about it, the more I reflected, Zach, the more I tried to do a little critical thinking, the more I remembered that this group of Auburn freshmen, these true freshmen, they are not playing under the Nick Saban cloud. Now, look, Auburn has never lost a game to Alabama because they were intimidated from the start. I've never seen that happen.
Yeah.
Having said that, this era now especially, there's not the air of invincibility. And we said this going back to January. The air of invincibility is gone. The chinks in the armor have been exposed this year. It doesn't mean that Auburn's absolutely going to win the game. They're a double-digit underdog in this game. They are not supposed to win. But there's no reason for this team to fear or be intimidated or think for any reason that they can't hang with this team in Tuscaloosa.
You seen Catch Me If You Can?
No.
Actually?
Yeah, no, actually.
This is weird. This is backwards. No, that one hasn't seen anything. The main character's dad asks, do you know why the Yankees always win, Frank? And he comes back and says something like, because they have Mickey Mantle. It's like, no, they're always looking at the pinstripes.
Yep.
And I think that's part of it. The equivalent is, they're always looking at the logo on the side of the helmet.
Yep.
And that's been Alabama. I'm a Patriots fan. That was the Patriots for forever. People are so oh, we got to play Tom Brady. It's like, no, just play football. That's how you beat him, is you play football and you win in the fundamentals and the little things, do the little things right. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with this. And so
that's,
now you have freshmen that don't care. They don't care about the A on the
Yeah.
side of Alabama's helmet. And I think that's important. I think that is a much, like at the macro level, when you zoom out, I think that's super important.
And that is what the 18-year-old DeMarcus Riddick was trying to articulate, is that these players, they're talented players. You're facing talented players.
Yeah, right.
But he's talented too.
Yeah. Now, some of it was personal. Some of it was personal. Like the Ryan Williams comment, I do think was personal. I don't know how it wouldn't be. But was that what he was trying to communicate? I think so. Cam Coleman's, I don't think is as much as Riddick's.
Yeah.
But also like Riddick's entire thing was like remarkably inconsistent. Did you watch the entire thing?
No, I haven't seen the entire.
Because most people just took the few quotes and they took the right quotes out. Like I totally get it.
Yeah.
But like he was asked about, the Iron Bowl growing up and all that. He's like, yeah, always loved the Iron Bowl. Then he's asked like, what's your favorite Iron Bowl memory? And he's like, I don't know if I really have one. I just kind of started paying attention to it lately. Like, okay, what? And then saying like he doesn't lose to rivals. And it's like, well, we played Georgia a month ago. Like we lost that game. So it was kind of all over the place.
Sure.
But I don't know. We're talking about it still.
I don't mind a linebacker having some attitude.
Yeah.
I don't mind a freshman having confidence.
No.
I don't mind a guy being vocal and writing a check that everybody else is then forced to help him cash. And I like that part of the comment too, was like talking about Milroe. I need guys to help me with that. Not letting him get out of the box. Like I'm gonna have to have guys
containment is not a one-man job for
Correct.
sure.
So I kind of like it. Am I being hypocritical? And I like it if the shoe was on the other foot? Probably not, but I don't care. It's a rivalry game.
I would like it. I mean, I think we need more of this. Like, it's the same stuff that we talk about with Hugh Freeze when it's honest, when he gives an honest answer to the podium and people want to criticize him for it. It's like, would you rather him say that or like lie to us and just be like, I don't know. We got to go out there and try harder.
Or just some canned answer. Do you want the canned answer or do you want fresh?
Yeah. And I think it's only going to get, I don't want to say worse. We're only going to see more of this in the age of NIL and like independent branding and the influencer type athlete. We're only going to see more of it. Now, whether you think that's good or not, that's not the discussion I think we should have today on Iron Bowl week. But personally, I like it because I think these guys are human beings and some of them are loud and some of them are cocky and some of them are confident and some of them just don't care what you have to say or think. They're going to do everything that they can.
And look,
I like it.
If Alabama goes out and Milroe and Williams and all, and they put up 49 points and just clobber Auburn, there's going to be a lot of crowing. There's going to be a lot, and it's something that players who talk will have to wear it.
Sure, but also,
if
Milroe and them go out there and score 49 points and he hadn't have said it, they're still going to like be all over you.
That's
so
true.
Who cares?
That's a good point.
Who cares? Fight for yourself. I'm all about it.
Yeah. I do agree with that. Like, I think you can be your identity.
Especially with Riddick, because I'm sorry, like the Alabama fans said some truly messed up stuff to his family during that whole recruitment process. They were not shy about it at all. Yeah. So Riddick, talk your crap. If you hate Alabama, good for you.
Yeah.
Good.
You got a platform.
Because that fan base did some crappy stuff to you and your family. So whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. But we're not going to take any responsibility for that because that's not what fans do.
I love it.
Boy, today's show is brought to you by Roback.
I didn't know I was going to get you this was going to get you so riled up today.
Roback. I'm just excited about Roback. I was excited to get to the Roback.
That ain't all it is.
RHOBACK.com. Roback.com. You can get 20% off. Black Friday time. We ready to rock and roll?
Listen, polos, hoodies.
Yes.
He did a mic flip. He did a mic twirl. Zach is in the zone today. They've got quarter zips. They've got leisure wear. They got stuff for men and women. Hey guys, for the women in your life, get them Roback. They will love it.
Wow.
They'll love it. Vice 20 is the promo code. Vice 20 gets you 20% off. Don't pay full. You know what? 100% ain't nothing to me. 100% ain't nothing to me. It means nothing to me. I don't care about 100%. It's nothing to me. And on Saturday, 100% ain't even going to get out of the box because I use promo code Vice 20.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What did you think of my my Thanksgiving sides rankings?
Yeah, pull this up again. What are you got the wrong teams on the you got the wrong sides even up on the list.
You think so?
Yes.
So you have you think I just got like the top 5 in no particular order. You think I just got the top 5 wrong?
Yeah, I think there's some that are on that list that shouldn't be on the list.
Okay.
So
Give me a second, I'll pull it up. I didn't know
yeah,
you wanted me to like pull it up. Hold on.
for the
Let's do it on
I don't have it memorized.
So can we agree you haven't been thinking about it nonstop? That's fine.
Had a few other things going on.
That's fine. What is your number one Thanksgiving side?
It's dressing. Cornbread dressing, not too wet, not too dry either, but cornbread dressing.
That's fine. I'm not pushing back against that at all.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing back against that at all.
You got to.
Do you think it's weird the only times that you eat that are on Thanksgiving and Christmas, but we all like agree that it's good? So that's always kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got mac and cheese at number 1. I have dressing at 3. We're not far off on dressing.
But mac and cheese is not a. See, I don't consider.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say that it's not a Thanksgiving side. Do not say it, or I will quit this show.
First of all, no heck you won't either. But second of all, mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. You can have those any Sunday afternoon. You can have them any Thursday night. They're not specialty sides to Thanksgiving.
Wow. Okay, hold on. Scarcity is not what makes a food good or bad.
No, but it's if you're doing a list of Thanksgiving sides, then
there's sides you have on Thanksgiving. What?
Like where's cranberry sauce?
Not on the top 5. It shouldn't be. It's gross.
I agree, but it's a Thanksgiving side. But
it's not a top 5 Thanksgiving side.
I don't ever have it on my plate, but I bet a bunch of people watching do, and they love it. I bet a bunch of people would have it on the list.
I actually had more people say, I'm so glad you don't have cranberries on here versus the people that are like, where are they? I don't think anybody actually likes it. I think we just kind of all bring it there every now and then. Okay, so I think it's a little weird. I think that was a weird approach, Brad. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
I think it was a weird approach.
All right. That's fine.
Using the scarcity logic.
Yeah.
To determine what's green bean casserole fine? We okay with that?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, you don't have that on a random Tuesday night. You don't come home from work and pop a green bean casserole into the oven.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So I would just, mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese. But the fact that they're 1 and 2, like this is just a little bit of semantics. The fact they're 1 and 2 and you just have them anytime. They're not special to Thanksgiving.
You know why you can have them anytime?
They're good.
Because you want to have them anytime.
Yeah, I understand.
They're so
What about, my grandmother always made these homemade yeast rolls.
Oh, homemade. Oh, I bet those were good.
Man, they were good. I would get 3 or 4 of them at a time, put them on the plate at Thanksgiving. She didn't make them, but she didn't make these. She made them at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Got it.
She didn't make them any other time.
That was it. I love to get a big roll, take my fork and kind of hollow it out, make some room in there, make a little pocket, put a little mac and cheese, put a little turkey, put a little mashed taters, put a little gravy in there, and just like a Thanksgiving pocket.
Can I also tell you that I'm anti-gravy? I don't do gravy of any kind, anytime, any way. No gravy. No sauce, no biscuits and gravy.
Hold on.
No steak, no potatoes and gravy. No.
Anti-gravy?
Anti-gravy of all forms. There's not a gravy that I like.
Is it the taste? Is it the texture? What do you?
I don't know. I've never had it. Like this has been.
So you don't know if you don't like it. You haven't tried it.
I know I don't like that. It don't look right.
Because it's brown?
Or white with lumps in it, like sausage gravy. Yeah, don't like the look, don't like the smell, don't like it. Just not a gravy person.
But you haven't tried it.
Correct.
But you know you don't like it.
I don't like it, but I haven't.
Here's where I'm tripping up.
Are you giving me the parental logic? How do you know you don't like it when you have? Are you trying to play the parent game?
I've spent a lot of time with my 4-year-old this week, so maybe so.
Yeah,
maybe so.
I do have some 4-year-old tendencies.
Where I'm getting tripped up with this is the whole purpose of gravy
Mm-hmm.
is to make things taste better.
Mm.
Do you want your
Shame.
food to taste good? Just yes or no, real quick.
Of course, yeah.
So that would be me saying, like, I like my beverages cold, but I'm not going to use ice, is what you're saying.
It's not the same at all. It's not
It's
the
the
same at all.
exact same thing.
It's like any other condiment or sauce that you put on something to enhance the flavor. I think, look, my turkey and dressing, I put those on a fork. I don't need any gravy. The flavor I've got on the fork is enough for me. Maybe I'll run it. Hey, maybe I'll run it through some sweet potato. Maybe I'll run it through some black-eyed peas.
But man, it's such an experience though, because when you're making your plate, you put your dressing, you put your turkey, and you put your mashed potatoes all kind of next to each other, and you just put the gravy on it and let them all hang out. Like, it's such a fun experience.
If it's so great, Zach, why wasn't it on your top 5?
Honestly, forgot about it.
Yeah, you sure did.
Actually, I don't know
utterly
if gravy its own
part
side, though. I almost would make the argument that gravy is part of the mashed taters or the dressing.
I would disagree. It comes in its own separate, it's got its own container, its own vessel.
So if I would have put salad on here,
Uh-huh.
you think that just includes all of the dressings?
I don't know. Some people eat salad without dressing.
Okay.
Some people eat salad without dressing.
So when you order a salad, you're just assuming there's no dressing coming.
No, but they do ask you separately what dressing you want. Where are you going with this? What are you trying to do?
Because it comes with the dressing comes with the salad. Much like the gravy comes with the mashed potatoes, the turkey, and the dressing.
No, because you can order mashed potatoes without gravy at a restaurant.
But you have to specify, right?
No, not necessarily.
Most cases, yeah. Most cases.
I've never had to specify that.
You've never just ordered mashed potatoes
I love,
and there's gravy that hasn't come out. There's no way. This is ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous stance you've ever had in my life.
I love when we forget that we're recording a show and we like I have to look up and go, oh yeah, we're filming. We're going.
The show ended 10 minutes ago. And we're just like, we're just gonna post this to YouTube too.
Oh man.
All right. Let us know in the comments down below. That certainly does it for today's show.
Yeah, it does.
Have a great Thanksgiving, Brad.
Man. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Should we even get into like Thanksgiving desserts?
Not as opinionated. I'm not a huge pie fan.
Yeah. Pie really, like Thanksgiving is that's the big stage for pie. Pie doesn't have this big a stage any other time of year.
I'll give you that. I just recently got it. Like, pecan pie is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I just recently, like within the last few years, started enjoying pumpkin flavored things.
Sure.
And so like pumpkin pie is still kind of new to the palate, but I like it. Not a fan of apple pie.
Yeah. I don't like any warm fruit. So like pies with fruit typically don't do it for me.
No banana pudding?
That's different. Gosh, I'm a walking contradiction. I'm like, you know what? I'm like DeMarcus Riddick in that interview earlier this week.
Iron Bowl's important to me, but I don't have a favorite Iron Bowl moment. Okay, yeah, cool. Just run down Milrow. Whatever. That's great. Don't let him out of the pocket. That's awesome. That's all I care about. I don't care if you watch the 2013 Iron Bowl. I don't care. But just keep him in the pocket, please.
But banana pudding is wonderful. It needs to be warm. So that's the contradiction there. Warm over cold.
Cobbler?
Nope.
Not a cobbler guy?
Nope. Anti-cobbler.
I'm not either. We may agree with that then. I don't really like warm fruit either, now that you mention it. But I do love banana pudding. Banana pudding is probably my favorite dessert.
Yeah, it's very good. Fresh Nilla wafers in there. Yes, sir. Okay. We're going to find some food. Thanks, everybody, for watching and subscribing. Remember, until next time, everyone has vices. For some people, it's gravy. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.